There is little doubt that Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe was aware that his visit last week to a war shrine in Tokyo would ignite a firestorm of controversy. The shrine honors Japan's war dead, including those who committed horrific war crimes during Japan's occupation of its neighbors in World War II. In reaction, Chinese leaders said on Monday that they refused to meet with Abe at a time when tensions are already high over disputed islands in the South China Sea. MICHAEL Penn joins us by Skype from Tokyo, and also joining us by phone is Ann Lee, author and consultant on U.S. China relations. MICHAEL, I want to start with you. It seems to me that the Japanese Prime Minister should have known better at a time like this, when tensions are running high between these two countries, not to visit that shrine. What's your take on this?
Well, of course he did know better. He has two sides of his brain, you might say. There's the side of him which is the political pragmatist who is quite aware that what he was going to do was going to create a firestorm. But the key to understanding Prime Minister Abe is that this man is a true believer in his cause. And he had promised to himself that he was going to visit Yasukuni Shrine in the first year in office. He didn't do it last time he was Prime Minister. He said it was a point of major regret for his life. And he said, well, I'm going to do it this time because it's what I believe in.
And I want to bring you in on this discussion here with this whole shrine controversy. Is this really going to be something that tips the curb here in the relationships between China and Japan, or is just China saber rattling here?
Well, relations between these two countries are very tense, probably at an all-time high since World War II. But I don't think that this is going to escalate into any military confrontation. I believe that the politicians in both countries are well aware of the huge stakes. They're not going to lose their cool and get emotional about this. Yes, this is saber-rattling more or less to drum up popular support within their own populations, perhaps, because obviously the Chinese know that many people in China have not recovered from, the atrocities that the Japanese had created, during their occupation of China, and so that those emotions run high, and so clearly the Chinese cannot show that they're backing down if Japan is disrespecting them in any way, and then obviously, there's plenty of business between the two countries. Their supply chains are very much interconnected, and so business leaders on both sides, don't want these tensions to get out of hand.
I understand that the atrocities that Japan put on China during World War II are very well documented, and they're very horrific. But putting that aside here, we're talking about something that's very strategic. The Chinese say it is their air defense identification zone. MICHAEL, I've got to ask you, how important are these islands, and how far will the Chinese go to make sure that they secure this region?
Well, I think that ever since this crisis over what the Japanese call the Senkaku and what the Chinese call the Diaoyu broke out, most of the rest of the world has been shaking its head and saying, what the heck are these people doing? Why are these two giant economies going at each other over some basically worthless islands? Certainly what they have lost in confronting each other is far more than what the value economically of the islands themselves. But at the same time, we're talking about two countries that have nationalist movements, and when you start talking about nationalism, people don't necessarily register political values at the same level as practical money values.
We also have another tempest in the teapot here. Go ahead, Ann.
Hello?
Yeah, Ann, go ahead.
Yeah, I would say that while the islands themselves may seem worthless, because the United Nations had passed the law of the sea, which basically gives the country rights to whatever is under the sea from the coast 200 miles out. That radius basically expands, the territories quite significantly, and so that one law is a game changer. And plus, a lot of the fishermen of Chinese descent have fished there for hundreds of years, and their livelihoods depend on it. And so this is another issue of contention. And then, of course, all the mineral rights
Sure.
underwater.
So there obviously is a lot at stake here, you know, and that will have to be the last word. We've run out of time, but of course the situation is still fluid. We're going to certainly here at Arise America keep our eyes on this. Michael Penn, Ann Lee, thank you so much for your time.